And said David to the Philistine, Thou comest to me with a sword and with a spear and with a shield. But I come in the name of the Lord of hosts, the God of the army of Israel, whom thou hast defied. This day will the Lord deliver thee into my hands, and I will smite thee and take thy head from thee, and I will give his carcass unto the host of the Philistines. This day unto the fowls of the air, and I will take the wild beasts of the earth, that all the earth may know that there is a God of Israel. Now all this assembly shall know that the Lord saveth not with sword and spear, but the battle is the Lord's, not ours, and he will give you into our hands. And it came to pass, when the Philistine arose and came, and he drew nigh to meet David, that David hastened and he ran towards the army to meet the Philistine. And David put his hand in the bag, and he took thence the stone in his sling, and he smote the Philistine in his forehead, that the stone sunk deep into his head, and he fell upon the face of the earth. Never measure your problems by what you can do. Always measure your problems by how God can deal with it and what God can do. I want to tell you that Goliath was estimated to be about 13.4 inches tall. According to Scripture, he had approximately 308 pounds of armor on and carried a spear that was big as a beam, and it weighed about 20 pounds, the sword that he had in his hand. When Israel looked at Goliath and then they saw themselves, there was no comparison. But when compared Goliath to God, there is no comparison today. When we look at the pandemic that's going on in our country, but when we compare it to God, there is no comparison. There's no epidemic. There's no sickness that God can't bring us through. David heard the challenge and couldn't figure out why no one was answering the call. Without thinking, by faith, he answered the call. He didn't get special weapons ready to fight Goliath. He simply used what he had to use. And God did not let him down. Goliath fell immediately, and David defeated the enemy in the name of the Lord. And that's how we get through these times of troubles in our life today. All we have to do is respond by faith without thinking, and God will give us the victory. He tells us there in Acts chapter 10, verses 42 and 48, and he said, He commanded us to preach unto the people and to testify that He is which who is ordained of God to be judge of the quick and the dead. To Him give all prophets witness that through His name whosoever believed in Him should receive remissions of sin. Whosoever. Doesn't matter what color you are. Doesn't matter what church you go to. Doesn't matter what nationality you are. Whosoever calls upon the name of the Lord shall be forgiven. So many times in our own life today, we see people